Throughout history, a series of significant events have dramatically shaped and transformed the world in both positive and negative ways. Monumental occurrences, ranging from wars and epidemics to natural calamities, have influenced the course of human evolution and the progression of societies. From the profound repercussions of World War I to the transformative implications of the recent coronavirus pandemic, these pivotal moments have left indelible marks on the global landscape. Here, we present an exploration of the top 10 famous historical events that changed the world. Number 10. August 1945 atomic bombing. As World War II reached its zenith, mounting casualties heightened the urgency for its termination. Then, on the fateful morning of August 9, 1945, a cataclysmic event forever altered the course of history in Asia. The United States, in a move to expedite the end of the war, released atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, decimating them entirely. The sheer devastation and loss of life from these bombings compelled Japan to capitulate swiftly, thus concluding the prolonged and brutal Pacific conflict. This marked the end of World War II, with the Allies emerging victorious. However, the sheer magnitude of destruction from nuclear weaponry cast a shadow on the world, sparking fears of a potential Third World War. In response to these apprehensions, various international nuclear agreements and treaties were forged to mitigate the risks of another global conflict of such a magnitude. Number 9. 1929 stock market crash. Throughout the early 1920s, the stock market had seen a remarkable and seemingly unstoppable surge. However, in October 1929, Wall Street was shaken to its core when stock prices plummeted unexpectedly. This dramatic downturn in the stock market set the stage for a sustained decline in share values, ultimately triggering the onset of the worldwide Great Depression. As a direct result, unemployment rates soared, reaching heights of around 25%, and global trade began to dwindle considerably. The domino effect of this economic catastrophe plunged countless individuals into abject poverty and engendered feelings of disillusionment. Such widespread desperation paved the way for the rise of extreme political ideologies across the globe. Various countries responded differently to the crisis. While Japan and Germany saw a shift towards intense nationalist movements, the United States took a different route. The election of Franklin D. Roosevelt ushered in a new era of optimism and brought forth innovative solutions, like the New Deal, in an attempt to alleviate the hardships of the Great Depression. Number 8. Assassination of John F. Kennedy. A moment in history that reverberated globally and sparked significant transformations was the tragic assassination of the American president John F. Kennedy. Elected in 1960, Kennedy stood out not only as one of the youngest leaders, but also as a beacon of liberalism and the first Catholic to hold the presidency. He symbolized hope and a renewed vision for the nation's future. However, on the fateful day of November 22, 1963, the world stood still as the news of his assassination spread. This unexpected turn of events paved the way for Lyndon B. Johnson to take on the presidential mantle, subsequently influencing the United States' increased involvement in the Vietnam War. The resulting geopolitical consequences led to deep divisions within the nation due to the contentious nature of the war. Over time, while some of these divisions persisted, efforts were made towards achieving national cohesion and stability. Number 7. The fall of the Berlin Wall. For numerous years, the imposing Berlin Wall stood not just as a physical barrier, but also as an emblematic divide representing the larger Cold War tension. It effectively cleaved Germany and the broader European continent into two distinct spheres, the communist-controlled East and the democratically governed West. Tragically, many East Germans, in their desperate bids to cross over to the West in search of freedom, were gunned down. However, a monumental shift occurred on November 9, 1989. On this day, the Berlin Wall, that staunch symbol of division and oppression, was finally torn down. This marked not only a pivotal moment for Germany, reuniting families and communities once separated, but also signified a transformative period for Europe as a whole. The fall of the wall echoed the beginning of the end for the Cold War era, ushering in new hopes for unity, freedom, and cooperation across the continent. Number 6. Release of Nelson Mandela from prison. For an extended period, South Africa was ensnared in the grips of apartheid, a system that deeply institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination. The nation was marred by division and strife, as a vast majority faced profound prejudice and systemic suppression by the minority white ruling class. Many leaders, both known and unsung, courageously took a stand against this unjust system, even at great personal risk. Among these stalwarts, Nelson Mandela emerged as a beacon of hope and resilience. His unyielding opposition to apartheid led to his incarceration for a staggering 27 years. On February 11, 1990, the world watched with bated breath as he finally walked free. Mandela's release symbolized the impending end of apartheid, and he became instrumental in steering the nation towards a new chapter. Subsequently, his election as South Africa's first black president was not just a personal triumph, but a monumental testament to the power of resistance and reconciliation in healing a nation's deep-seated wounds. Number 5. 9/11 terrorist attacks on the U.S. While the United States had confronted various acts of terrorism in the past, the events of September 11, 2001 were unparalleled in their scale and devastation, leaving both the nation and the global community in disbelief. On that fateful day, terrorist acts resulted in the tragic loss of around 3,000 innocent lives. The aftermath of this tragedy was profound. The collective trauma of 9/11 significantly influenced and reshaped American foreign policy. It spurred the United States into action, leading to the launch of the War on Terror, which subsequently paved the way for the contentious invasion of Iraq. This series of events left lasting ramifications, not only on America's international relations, but also on global geopolitics and the broader discourse on terrorism and security. Number 4. The 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings. On the tragic day of August 7, 1998, a devastating act of terrorism shocked the international community when the United States embassies in both Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya were simultaneously attacked. These synchronized bombings resulted in the heartbreaking loss of over 200 lives, forever marking it as a dark chapter in the annals of global terrorism. In the aftermath of these horrendous events, President Bill Clinton, determined to send a clear message against terrorism and to hold accountable those responsible, initiated Operation Infinite Reach. This military action involved launching a sequence of cruise missile strikes aimed at specific targets located in Sudan and Afghanistan. The objective was not just to retaliate, but also to disrupt the operations and infrastructure of terrorist networks believed to be behind the embassy bombings, thus setting a precedent for the U.S.'s commitment to combat global terrorism. Number 3. World War I. The tragic assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Hungary and his beloved wife acted as a spark that ignited the first monumental conflict encompassing nations across the globe. Beginning in 1914 and spanning a grueling 4 years, World War I brought unprecedented devastation. This prolonged conflict resulted in an unimaginable toll on humanity. Countless lives from every corner of the world were lost, from brave soldiers on the battlefront to innocent civilians at home. Cities were decimated, cultural heritage damaged, and entire societies were irreparably altered. One significant societal transformation resulting from the war was the evolving perception of women and their roles. Their invaluable contribution, especially in supporting roles during the war, paved the way for greater acceptance and recognition of women's capabilities and rights in various spheres of society. Moreover, the post-war period saw a surge in technological advancements, particularly in the realm of weaponry, leading to the creation of more potent and sophisticated arms, setting the stage for future military endeavors and strategic developments. Number 2. World War II. World War II, spanning from 1939 to 1945, was a global conflict that reshaped the geopolitical landscape. It began with Nazi Germany's audacious invasion of Poland, prompting nations worldwide to take sides. This led to the establishment of two dominant coalitions: the Allies opposing the aggressive expansionist motives, and the Axis powers led by Germany. The magnitude of this conflict was unparalleled, with an estimated involvement of over 100 million military personnel. The staggering numbers of fatalities, both civilian and military, coupled with widespread devastation, earned World War II the somber distinction of being the deadliest and most expansive conflict in history. It engulfed over 30 countries, leaving no corner of the globe untouched. Due to the advancements in military technology and strategy, the sheer scale of destruction was immense. The aftermath of the war left the world grappling with profound consequences, including famine, displacement, the rise and fall of empires, and the beginning of a new geopolitical era. The reverberations of this war reshaped global economies, politics, and societies, leading to the establishment of international organizations aimed at preserving peace and fostering cooperation. Number 1. Coronavirus pandemic. In the latter part of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, the globe was struck by a severe pandemic that originated in China, named COVID-19 or the coronavirus. This viral menace began its rapid and relentless spread across continents. The contagion swiftly engulfed numerous countries, infecting millions and leaving countless dead in its wake, with no known cure at the onset. In a bid to curb the virus's transmission, nations implemented travel bans, enforced stringent measures, and initiated lockdowns that resulted in significant economic downturns. The World Health Organization stepped in to coordinate global efforts, leading to the swift development of vaccines by several companies to combat this unprecedented health crisis.